In our previous lesson, we learned how to multiply a multi-digit number by a one-digit number, like 137 times 4. You can check out that video on our channel. For today's challenge, how about we multiply a multi-digit number by another multi-digit number? Do you feel like you're ready for that? Let's take a look at this multiplication. 263 times 34. That's a big batch of numbers, isn't it? But if we know how to break the big problem into smaller steps, we can solve them one by one and get our answer. In the case of multiplying a multi-digit number by a one-digit number, we take the bottom number and multiply it by each digit of the top number. However, when the bottom number is also a multi-digit number, how should we do it then? Here's the solution. We take each digit of the bottom number and multiply it by each digit of the top number. It's like we're doing two multiplication problems, with a one-digit number at the bottom. But hold on a second. That means we'll have two different answers. Oh no! What should we do? I'm just messing with you. The different answer is what you'll get when you multiply the digit in the bottom number separately. All we have to do is add the two answers together later. With 263 times 34, let's see how many multiplication steps we need to do. We have to multiply the digit 4 with 3 digits in the top number, and that's 3 steps. Then multiply 3 with the same top digits, making another 3 steps. Quite a lot of things to do, but okay, I'll do it this time. Let's pretend that we only have a one-digit number at the bottom and start from there. All right, in step 1, we have 4 times 3 equals 12. Do you remember what we do when the result is a two-digit number? That's right, we'll keep 2 here and carry 1 to the next higher place value column. Next up, step 2. 4 times 6 equals 24. We need to add the 1 that we just carried over to make 25. Just like in step 1, we carry 2 to the next column. Then, in step 3, we have 4 times 2 equals 8, plus the extra 2 on the top to get 10. That's a two-digit number, but do we need to carry 1 to the next column in this case? There's no need, since there's no more columns for us to carry over to. So 1 can stay right where it is. Now that we've done multiplying 4 by all the digits in 263, it's time to move on to the multiplication step with 3. But where would we put the answer down? We can put them neatly under the first answer line. Also, there's one thing you should know. We're not simply multiplying 263 by 3, because the digit 3 is in the tens column, which means we're actually multiplying by 30. That's 10 times bigger. So the answer should be 10 times bigger too. What we need to do is add a 0 here before we start multiplying so that we know the answer is 10 times bigger. What if the bottom number has a digit in the hundreds column? That makes the third answer 100 times bigger, so you need to add 2 zeros. If it has a digit in the thousands column, you need to add 3 zeros, and so on, and so on, and so on, and all right, enough messing around, more focus on multiplication. In step 4, we have 3 times 3 equals 9. No need to carry anything here since it's a one-digit result. In step 5, we have 3 times 6 equals 18. Now this 1 needs to be carried over to the next column. Lastly, in step 6, we have 3 times 2 equals 6, and 6 plus the extra 1 equals 7. All right, we've finished all the multiplication steps and ended up with 2 answers from multiplying each digit in the bottom number by each digit in the top number. Look at that, they're positioned nicely in columnar format, so we just need to add them up. Starting from the ones column, we have 2 plus 0 equals 2. 5 plus 9 equals 14, so we carry the 1 to the next column. 0 plus 8 plus the extra 1 equals 9. And lastly, 1 plus 7 equals 8. After 6 whole steps of multiplication and 1 final addition, we get our answer. 263 times 34 equals 8,942. Okay, that's a pretty big number. Multi-digit multiplication's no joke, huh? But once you know how to break this into small steps, you'll get your answer eventually. Before we wrap this one up, there are some tips you should know. First, always double-check your multiplication, because multi-digit multiplication has a lot of small multiplication steps, and the answer to these steps will affect the following addition. You don't want to get the wrong final answer after all that work, do you? Here's the second tip. You don't need to write 0 whenever you multiply the digit from the tens column, because 0 doesn't add anything to the final addition. It's only there to remind you that you're multiplying with a number in a higher place value. So next time, you can imagine the zeros are already there and align the answer to the digit in the bottom number that you're multiplying with, like how the last digit of the second answer aligns with 3 in the tens column. This applies to higher place values like hundreds, thousands, and even bigger. Last but not least, in a multi-digit multiplication, you should put the factor with the fewer digits in the bottom. Why? Because you'll have fewer answers under the line, therefore fewer numbers to deal with in the following addition. If you switch the position of the factor, you'll have to stack a lot of answers here, and adding them together can make you dizzy. And there you have it. That's how you multiply multi-digit numbers together. You take each digit from the bottom number and multiply them with each digit in the top number, then sum up the results. Our next destination? Division. Stay tuned for our next video to learn new and exciting math knowledge.